This day, we will live or die, but whatever the outcome, this will still be the day we avenge ourselves for those we've lost. The day we right the wrongs done to us, or die in the trying. It will be a dark day, a bloody day, a proud day, for this is the day of our wrath! Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Reese and I am doing another book review today, and it's been a long time coming, but I am finally here to finish off the series The Faithful and the Fallen by John Gwynne with Wrath today. This whole read through has been an absolute roller coaster. It was brilliant. I absolutely loved it. I've said it in every other one of my reviews so far, and this one, it was just such an amazing ending. This book was like so intense to read. I had such a weird feeling within my body. Part of me was racing towards the finish. I wanted to know what happened, but part of me was so scared to continue reading. I had real anxiety, especially in the latter half of the book when we were into what is essentially the final battle. And it took my breath away. It genuinely left me breathless. I think there is a breathtakingly perfect finale is a really good example of a quote, because there were scenes I was literally like, I would finish a chapter and have to like go, okay, come on, next one, let's go. It was genuinely breathtaking. Now, I'm going to be as careful as I can with this review. Obviously, it's the final in the series. I'm going to try not to give any spoilers, but as with some of the other ones I've said, there might be some spoilers for other books. I'm going to be as careful as I can to not say any spoilers. What I think this book in particular did, I think it slowed down ever so slightly compared to the other books. The other books we were racing through at breakneck speed, which is fantastic. This one slowed down ever so slightly and slightly took a macro view of what was happening in the story for a moment, because we come into this moment where there's this guerrilla warfare going on, where there's these different factions around on the map and they're trying to take one another out, but it's in the forests and there's surprise tactics going. It's not all-out warfare anymore. So we almost take a little bit of a macro view of hearing the reports coming in at sometimes. Don't get me wrong, we still get to join in with some of these fights, and as John Gwynne has done with all the other books, they are absolutely pulse-pounding, they are excellently written, and they are just incredible to sort of witness as you're reading them. But we do not sit in all of them because there's so much fighting going on, and then at the same time we've got these other stories still coming and diverging and convulging, whatever the words I'm looking for are, into this final battle, because we are truly into that epic moment. The scale of this one is off the chart. We've been prophesied to have this God war the whole way through, and boy, does it deliver in this one. This is epic on a scale of what I personally truly believe is epic fantasy. I finished reading the Powder Mage trilogy series by Brian McClellan, and I think these are more what I would consider more epic fantasy. They are definitely epic. They are grand scale. There's gods and things going on. But for me, this one seemed to be all-encompassing and truly world-ending, with everyone in the world knowing this is a world war, whereas in that one, it's a war that is happening within the world that is potentially world-ending. But it's very much like it's happening there and not everyone else knows about it. Whereas this one, I truly felt like everyone was there, all the stories convulsed. It was this point, and this was the pinnacle moment. If this went wrong, that's it, it's done. And yeah, it felt like it was going wrong at times. John Gwynne doesn't pull any punches. He's very, very happy to kill off his characters. He's very, very happy to hurt his characters physically, emotionally, spiritually. Yeah, he toys with your emotions, as he did in the other books. But this one, it was so satisfying how a lot of the threads that have been sewn throughout the story finally were tied up. There were callbacks to the first book. There were vendettas settled that had been going on for thousands of pages at this point, and they were all handled so well. There was a worry that there's so many different, especially the vendettas, the revenge stories, because that's a massive part of this book, is this story of getting revenge, and whether we really need revenge, or whether you should forgive someone, or whether it's courage to try and take someone out, or having the courage to let someone go, all those sorts of things. There's so many of those threads, it could get a bit repetitive, and it could have been a bit like, oh, I can see this one coming. But you would crave these moments. They're so well written that you want them to happen. And every time, for instance, every time that Mackwin comes face to face with Lycos, you hate Lycos. John Gwynne has written someone you can really hate. And every time they come face to face with each other, you're just willing him to get close and just stab him and get into it. And that gets more intense in this book. If you've read the other books and you thought, the sort of angst between and the anger between Mackwin and Lycos was palpable, it gets so much worse in this. You feel what these characters are feeling so well, and it just makes it such a pleasure and also a pain to read. This has genuinely gone into one of my favourite fantasy stories of all time. Probably top 5, if not maybe top 3. I want to let it settle for a little while and just sink into me, to just be there and sort of build in its legend, I suppose. But it is incredible. It's an easy 5 stars for me. I'm recommending this to almost anyone. It's such, as I've mentioned before in other reviews, it's such a great combination of classic fantasy with a modern take. You're reading it like it's a modern book, but it's got those classic tropes that they're tropes for a reason. There's a reason that there are so many stories with them, and we like reading those tropes. But this is done in a way that we can really enjoy, and as a modern reader, just be more comfortable with. It's not got too many flowery prose describing passages that go on for pages and pages. It's just into the action, into the dialogue, into the character work, and it succeeds in every way. I think out of all 4, I think Ruin is my favourite. But it's such a close. I think it's just because I don't like stories ending, if I'm honest. I like being in a story, I like sitting in a story and having things happen and not having to finish. I think there's always that bit of melancholy and that sadness when a story ends, and I'm probably still sitting in it. It's been a week or so since I finished this, but I'm still kind of like, there's still that sadness of leaving this world. I know there's another series in this, and I will be getting into that 100%. I've got to get back to the Banished Lands. I have enjoyed them so much. If anyone's read it out there, let me know. Does it hold up against this series? Is it a good series as well, or is it not as good? I'm still going to read it no matter what. I think John Gwynne is probably going to become one of my go-to reads. I'm definitely going to read his latest series, Fury of the Gods, something like that. Definitely going to read that because, yeah, he's got a big fan here. I'm 100% a fan, and I recommend anyone out there read this series. It is brilliant. I cannot fathom anyone who would pick this up and not enjoy it in some respect. It is very, very good. So there we are. That is my review of The Faithful and The Fallen. We're going to be moving on to something a little bit different now. I've got a little interim book that I'd like to throw in there. No spoilers here right now. And then I'm going to be moving on to The Earthsea Cycle by Ursula K. Le Guin. So something a little bit different. It's been really difficult to talk about this one just purely because I didn't want to give any spoilers. If you would like a spoiler review where I can go into some of the actual people's names that I can't mention here and some of the things that happened and what my thoughts were on that, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to do that, but I will see you in the next review. Thank you for watching, and see you soon. Bye bye.